Welcome back. I'm Emily at Emily's podcast, Tribute to All Little Angels, Part 15, Episode 6 of the Timeline. October 13th, 2023. Today I'm going to the cemetery. My heart hurts from the news of the judge, and I need to check out things. As I pull in, I see a dark color vehicle at Babyland 6th West. There's about 4 people standing near the fence line. I pull around the cemetery to wait until they were done visiting, and my gosh, I so wanted to get out of my car to talk to them, but for some reason I didn't. I am now sitting northeast of Megan's area. As I wait and watch, they are getting in their car. I did wait for them to pull around from Babyland 6th West, and I pull around onto the east side of the cemetery. And as they pass, I did remember the license plate number. And I don't know who you are, but you can rest assured I will keep it. It's for no one else unless we need to contact you, the people, to let them know of the situation. And again, like I've said, it's sad to think. My heart breaks to know where these people stand out here with their loved ones' headstones, but it's just a headstone. Your loved ones are to the north of this existing tree. As I visit Megan, I also visit the new headstone in the Mother Mary statue. It's a new headstone for their loved one. November 3rd, 2023. I start today at 1:15 p.m. and I'm getting packets of letters and pictures together of Megan's story. I finish at 4:58 p.m. 3 days later, I reenact with flags stuck in the ground at the cemetery and viewing now the distance between where Megan is laid to rest and the east-west street, and where her headstone is washed away to from the east-west street. It's a difference. November 20th, 2023. I'm feeling a gut feeling to make sure everything is in the files. I check. The information has been taken out of one of the files. I went back through the information to put the file back together, and I also find folders of information like emails from the attorney, the funeral home, and the rest of the response letters. I thought, my gosh, I could use these, and I'm happy I double-checked everything. Wow, something like a feeling, a premonition, an intuition to be ready, and I'm ready now. And of course, we visit the cemetery and take pictures of the area throughout all this time. And now into another year, 2024. In this first month of January 2024, we visit the cemetery and take pictures to compare. In the episode of the podcast, I describe pictures. And then on January 21st, 2024, I watch a segment on the news of a family in Georgia who has lost the burial plot of where they buried their loved one years ago. I listen and I look up the information. They are asking for help to find a lawyer in Augusta, Atlanta, Georgia area. And believe me, when I hear this, I thought, I wish it could be that easy for me. I've been asking and I've asked, and what has happened? Then I think I can ask for help from Georgia or Chicago. On January 25th, 2024, I mail gold envelopes with Megan's information. When I finish, I look for more information on the Georgia cemetery story. And the next day, a friend asked, have you ever thought about what the orbs mean? I said, I haven't because I don't know the meaning of them other than what I'd been told. And yet again, I'm being told to hire a psychic. And now into February of 2024. Pictures are still being taken and comparing to earlier pictures. February 4th, 2024. I find the names of the family in Georgia. I have 3/11/2001 for the baby. I don't know if this is her date of death or the date of birth, but either way, it's a nice date. My birthday also. I then read the article. I write some information down, information of the person who is striving to unravel the mystery. February 14th, 2024. Being Valentine, of course we went to the cemetery, as we do on all holidays and birthdays. And of course, in between time and months go by, I'm still taking pictures to compare to the last visit or the week before, even months and years before. And then this evening, I'm reflecting, and I've had a strong gut feeling all day. And as I sit and then think about the gut feeling and how it came back, I have a feeling to write to the investigative journalist who is covering the story out of Georgia. I'm feeling to write him a letter and to tell Megan's story. I then start looking for the information of the investigative journalist. My friend Patty offers to write a letter to the journalist. My sister Susie is sending emails. I write a letter also, and I upload pictures to send him. When I finish, I pray this works. Then on February 20th, 2024, today I write a letter on the computer to also send emails to the attorney out of Georgia. A thought about it all, too. We don't know 100% that we have Megan sitting on this shelf. Help us to know. February 24th, 2024. I work on finding emails to send the letters to. I, with help from my sister Susie, is sending me a picture and a name of the cemetery in Georgia. I now have an address and a phone number. The headline said, "A look at burial process after remains go missing in Augusta." I then looked to see the distance, the mileage from Oklahoma to Georgia. Then I see a video of the cemetery process in Georgia, and it breaks my heart. And then as I read about the case, I had to sit and cry. And now I have the name of the news anchor, the investigative reporter, and I pray he helps them and my letters and emails finds a way to him. The end of February. Another thought. Megan's story will be concluded one day with the truth being told, and it will get fixed, resolved. And oh yeah, I have even received a response from the city of Moore that the people that were involved in this are no longer here. And I thought, it still needs to be fixed. No matter who is around, who works there, it's the city's mess, and those people did work there, or still does. And throughout time, of course, I'm still taking the pictures at the cemetery. I record a podcast every other Wednesday, and to know it's so heartbreaking. Heartbreaking to know what has happened, and the city does nothing to correct it. Cover it up, but not correct it. Then later this afternoon, I read an article of a family that has been waiting 2 years to place their loved one's headstone. And my thought is, after reading the article, what the heck is going on with these cold-hearted people working at the cemeteries and or the cities? It's very disturbing. And yet, very disturbing, the city, removed the flowers from the graves on February 1st. We replace. And on March 6th, already, they are gone. A big wooden cross that Madison placed here months ago is still here, but the flowers are gone. And to me, to my family and others, it's sickening. It only shows the mentality. Then when my friend from school day calls and comments to me about the podcast, she said, you are doing great. When you first started the podcast, you could hear in your voice the emotions. You could hear when you were mad, when you were crying, and the emotions are raw. But now you are a lot stronger, and you sound it. Keep going, my friend. And she did promise if anything happens before I finish for Megan and God, she said, I will be in line with the others to help you finish this, to get it fixed and resolved. And when I hear these words, it feels like a 2-ton boulder had lifted off. And after thinking about the conversation later, I do believe I was a mess, an emotional mess, and I still am. I'm just working through it. And I believe the podcast episodes has been my own self-therapy, working through, and I am stronger. And of course, throughout this time too, I'm still taking the pictures and comparing too. Later in the month of March, I'm leaving the cemetery to thinking about the judge whom in the past that was a lawyer at the law firm I hire for Megan's case. Anyway, I'm thinking about how the news is saying the judge, this woman is trying to manipulate the situation of her actions in the courtroom. Well, Matt, the attorney out of the same law firm, worked Megan's case, manipulated me, and is how we got to where we are today. And for some reason, I thought the city may be trying to pass it off on this law firm, which to me, every one of them needs to be honest. I can't help to wonder too if it wasn't Matt's idea for the cover-up at the cemetery. Because as I'm asked to this day, what and how was he pursuing this case? Because there are no laws to protect our loved ones from these kind of things at the cemetery. And then the next thought is, how low will they go? And hiring that attorney was a big waste. I hired Matt to get the headstones moved back to where they belong, and he twisted and manipulated it all and got nothing done. Just lies. Big lies on their part and a big waste of time. And even for the headstones that were admitted being moved, the 5 or 6 headstones that was moved by floodwaters, they haven't been moved back to their original place either. I have pictures where they drew red boxes in the grass as to where they belonged, and they were still wrong. And of course, it makes us all wonder. Into April of 2024. April showers brings May flowers, but not rain so hard it still floods the cemetery that was fixed in 2019. But even then, the drains were only fixed on the west side, southwest first, then east of Megan's area. Yes, another season, another year. It's flooded, and Megan's flowers withstands the water, as the pictures show. 5 years ago it was fixed, but still floods. In mid-May, I watch a program on TV that I usually do watch on Saturday nights. And while watching, in my mind and listening to the story and the person talking of their gut feelings, their premonitions they have about their story, they are telling, and I think actually, I wish someone will listen to Megan's story. And as I watch and listen to how they are having these premonitions feelings, and they see signs and they talk of that, well, I have to ask, how come no one talks or even wants to know of the premonitions, the gut feelings, my signs of Megan's story? And of course, I did watch and listen with tears in my eyes. Then I think about my friend and my daughter telling me at the very beginning of Megan's story what became Megan's story, but I didn't listen. It didn't play out like that. And here I am with the proof of the cemetery flooding, and the headstones were moved, to even proof of the day of the digging up Megan's headstone. Yep, I'm still telling the story, and yet nothing done. And that's what brought me to describe the pictures of the area. I haven't noticed any more nonsense since the plot marker indents in the ground my niece noticed in 2022. And yes, I can agree with, if anyone has a complaint about the pictures being described, and I certainly don't want to bore anyone, but I am coming up on the end of Megan's story until a conclusion. And of course, I will be writing notes to conclude the story when we get to that point. And also keep in mind, Megan doesn't deserve this, and neither do the others. And let me ask, does the lineup of the newly set in drain to the west to the black and white Babyland sign also newly set in to a set of double headstones that used to sit between but east of the north tree and the south tree, now sits east of the existing tree, as I know is the south tree, to the blue and white Babyland 6th West sign, which has sat there since 2000 and is still in the same location, even through the floodwater. And then on west to the tree, the same blue and white Babyland 6th West sign, neither one never moved in the flood. And on west to a newly set in headstone, which 4 days before the day of the digging up Megan's headstone, there is a long pole and a small piece of equipment sitting there on November 21st, 2019, as I pulled up. Does this sound suspicious to anyone? And then on to a good note. The numbers of listeners on the podcast for Megan's story has climbed, and I'm so proud of that. Thank you to all. And then another thought came to mind. People tell me to never give up, and I think walking away is easy, but the real task is to fight and to keep fighting for what is right. There's no giving up on this. And of course, at times I find myself apologizing to Megan. Not that it's her fault, not that it's my fault, and it certainly isn't the other's fault for what the rest has done. And I'm sorry to be the messenger. Stay tuned, because there's not much more to say, except I will continue to visit the cemetery, as I always do, and snap those photos, because you know I certainly will. Let's be Megan's voice. Let's be all of their voice, because you know they don't have one. Thank you for listening. Stay kind with your words.